I went to my first ever performance driving event. I decided to go with Autocross because of its affordability, low speed, and it seemed like a safe environment to start learning the car and how to drive. Today, I'll go over a few things I learned from attending my first Autocross event and what a newcomer can expect. The day starts off with registration, and during this time, people start prepping their cars for the day. This includes removing stuff from the car, checking tire pressure, and torquing wheels. You'll see in the video people tape numbers on the side of the car. This is to identify the driver so the event can keep track of the runs of each participant. You will also see people taping up parts of their car, including the front bumper. This is because people will often hit cones, which can cause some black marks on the car. This is a good way to help reduce this issue, but I found that these marks usually wash out. I use painter's tape and there is no residue left on the paint. People are very friendly and helpful at these events and are always willing to lend a helping hand or advice. After the course is set up, people are welcome to walk through it. I personally recommend walking through it with someone who has been to a few events to hear their thoughts. The cones can start looking confusing, but walking through it can definitely help. The rest of the day consists of driving the course and working the marshalling stations. What this means is you'll be out on the course helping to reset the cones. During the time you aren't driving, you have the time to yourself to adjust the car, watch other participants, and socialize. The course is designed using pylons, and at the event I attended, there was a signaling system to mark the start of the run and lasers which will start and stop the timing when crossed. The course consists of hairpin turns, slaloms, and back straights. You start the course stationary, and some people decided to launch their cars for the best possible time. However, I didn't launch my car for all my runs since I didn't want to put too much strain on my clutch. But in retrospect, I don't think it would have been that big of an issue. At the end of the course, there is a box you have to completely stop within. You can check my other video on threshold braking to help you brake sooner so that you can stay on the gas for longer. I was able to start experiencing how the car feels when I started pushing it. Specifically, how the rear end of my car begins to rotate under braking and what it feels like to understeer in a corner. Additionally, with Autocross, the weight transfer is much more apparent than on track because of how tight the corners are. Getting familiar with how your car feels, such as loading one of the tires in a corner, is very important and is transferable to the street and on track. I was also able to understand how important vision is for the course. I made the mistake of looking down during the course because my car was not in the correct mode, and by the time I looked up, I was already mid-corner. But luckily, the environment is safe and I was not in any danger. I learned from my mistake and focused on looking forward in my subsequent runs, which helped me with my time, improved my smoothness of my inputs, and helped with processing the speed. Overall, I learned a lot of important skills and got me comfortable with my car. This helped me gain confidence in my driving, and I was able to bring this with me to the track weekend right after it. And I was able to pick up track driving a lot faster than if I didn't do the event. The event is also very cheap. It was $60 including lunch, and we got 5 runs, and the event is very easy on the tires and brakes, so wear on the car is minimal. The environment is also very safe. I felt comfortable to start pushing myself and the car. There was tons of space and not a lot of things to hit. This event is way safer than trying to push the limits on the street, and you'll learn way more. The quality of the parking lot was poor. It was chunking and you had to lift off the throttle to get over the patches. There was also a lot of gravel, and running sticky tires caused all these stones to hit the underside of my car. Luckily, there was no paint damage, but I didn't like it regardless. We didn't get a lot of driving time. We got 5 runs, which is pretty standard, but I learned better when I have more seat time. There was always something I could improve on after each run, and these things take practice, and I wish I had more opportunities. Finally, there was no formal instruction at the event I attended. I asked around for some help on improving, but finding someone knowledgeable and able to give me feedback by watching on the sidelines was difficult. Because of COVID, other participants are not allowed in the car with you, so they can only watch you from the sidelines. I ran over a few cones at the event, and there were some scuffs on the paint, but they came off when I washed the car. Other than that, there was no major impact on my car. So with that in mind, how should you prepare your car for the event? Make sure your car is in good mechanical order. No issues with leaks or engine or transmission issues. These things can create a dangerous situation if there is a leak and causes someone to lose traction as a result. I got new tires before the event, but I don't think it is necessary. Although it is one of the mods that can significantly reduce your times and improve your grip, you can attend the event with any street-oriented high-performance tires, such as the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. I personally got a new set because mine had a nail in them, and the week after the event, I was attending a track day, which does not allow patched tires, so I figured I'd just get them early and run them in both events. With Autocross, the demand on your tires is much higher than on the street, but significantly less than on the track. You will be driving for about 1 minute, and the amount of heat generated in the tires is minimal compared to the track. As a result, there is less heat cycling than on the track, and the tires will last much longer. I was running stock brake pads and brake fluid. The Type R comes with big brakes and good brake pads from the factory. I didn't have any brake fade. However, I spoke to other people and they were experiencing brake fade because of the sudden braking at the end of the course. It was nothing serious and they were able to drive home, so I don't think a brake fluid flush or brake upgrades are necessary. But you need to evaluate your own car to make that decision. In summary, as long as your car is mechanically sound, it should be great for autocross. Seat time is the most important mod for a driver. Being in this environment to safely approach the limits and understand how your car handles is key to building confidence. The driving knowledge is transferable to other driving environments. Autocross is a cheap first step to performance driving, and I would recommend anybody wondering to take the leap and try it out.